Alright everyone, so we are in the car today and finally filling the transmission with fluid, the T56. So this T56 is going to take Pennzoil synchro mesh fluid. That's the fluid I decided to use after doing a bunch of research. But I pulled the top off because it's too hard to fill it from the bottom. So I just drained it from the bottom and then I took the shifter off, which is over there. So I'm just filling it from the top. So it calls for 4.1, so we'll throw 4 in there and then see what happens. Pennzoil synchro mesh. So let me fill this up, and then I gotta RTV it again and throw the shifter back on. So today is gonna be a big day for us. Today is gonna be the day we load up the Haltech map tune and we crank this bad boy over. So I'm super pumped up. I'm just excited to actually turn the key and see if it cranks over. So we got a radiator fan all installed, plugged up. We were just dumping water in there, distilled water, and now we're going through and we're about to dump the fuel in. I just came back from the gas station and we're gonna dump the fuel in. You can see all the fuel lines are done up. This is gonna get put up there, but big day today. Super pumped, so stay tuned. I'm gonna have to get the tripod set up and y'all can watch. All right, peace. All right, so now I'm gonna fill her up with some oil. The oil I'm running right now is AMSOIL break-in oil. Let me swing this around. So I got 10 quarts of it because I'm running the 8-quart pan plus all these lines. So I'm gonna get pour onto this. Take the oil filter off over there, put some in the oil filter, and get this going. We're gonna go ahead and dump these 10 quarts in down the funnel, and I'll check the fuel level. I'll check it around, or the fuel level. I'll check the oil level around like 6 quarts and see if it's even touching the dipstick. I got the ECU right here. I got the wires that go to the ECU right here. So I'm gonna plug these in right up top on the ECU, and then I have my USB to go to the computer right here. That bad boy plugs in right down here. So right now I got my Haltech loading. It's just taking a little while. It's gonna pull up. I'm gonna mess with the tune a little bit, and hopefully we get to turn the key on this bad Larry. All right, so now we have the Haltech uploaded to the ECU, the 2000. We're gonna turn the key, we're gonna hear the fuel pump kick on, and we're gonna check for leaks and everything else. So go ahead, turn it over.
Ready?
Yep.
You got a leak in the fuel rail.
Still leaking?
Leaking out of the fuel rail.
All right, so we turned the key over, and it is leaking from... Oh, it's that. Okay, I thought. Okay, so it's these 2 fittings right here where you could put gauges or sensors. We'll just tighten those up because it was leaking right out of those, and then we'll try it again. So we turned it to run, and everything came on. Fuel pump turned on, all that jazz. But as soon as we tried to kick it over, nothing happened. So there's this one wire. Since the wiring harness, the body harness is from a GT, but the engine harness is from a Mach 1. So we think we found the problem. There's 2 male ends, one from the body harness and one from the engine harness, with the same wires. So we cut the plugs and we're putting the wires together, putting them on butts, putting them together. So let's walk outside and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm talking about. That side and then that side down there. So we're gonna clean it up, and then hopefully that's the problem, and we can turn this bad Larry over. Yeah, boy, that boy is spinning fast. Yeah, look, it's still going. Alright, what's up everyone? Back in the garage. Now we are taking care of some wiring.
Found all the ignition wires from the body, which it's not going to be on this ones that we took apart. This one's probably, some of them probably the starter or whatever. We don't know yet. We still need to go through them. But we found some of them on this this big one, this big plug on the side of the panel.
Which usually sits right here, but we pulled it through. So.
And then this one right here on the body wiring side, we found 4 of them, which is the orange and yellow, light green and yellow or white, and then blue and purple and white and pink or red. But those 4 are the other wirings for the ignition. And then now we have to look for the injectors. That's what's next.
So we got the coil-on packs, and now we're gonna take care of the injectors. So I got my phone on the charger, and we're gonna start hacking at all this. Alright guys, so we knew we had 2 major problems. One being the car wouldn't idle unless I was giving it gas. Found the vacuum leak. It's actually right here. Right down there. Where we got the plug on it now. I'm not sure exactly where it went to, but we were looking at my old intake and saw that there was a vacuum that went right there. And I'm not too sure where it actually goes, but we just plugged it up for now. And the second big headache now is there was a leak. We were leaking coolant or distilled water, and we know exactly where it's at now. So unfortunately, it's like in the worst spot possible. There's a valley when you take the whole intake off, and there's a coolant line that goes across, and it's leaking there. So that really freaking sucks. Just because I'm gonna have to take everything off again. So I'm gonna start taking the oil catch off. I'm gonna take the intake pipe off. I'm gonna have to take this off, the lower intake off. I'm gonna take the belt off, take the alternator off, take this hose off. So I'm gonna have to start tearing this apart. So I'm gonna just start now instead of procrastinating, because I'm very good at that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start tearing into this, and let's get into it because I don't. Peace. So you come right in here, and you can right away see the water. How it's all been up in here. So my guess, or I know it's coming from right here. Oops, sorry. I know for a fact it's coming right there. You can see all the water, and then it's draining through that bottom hole right there. So, I mean, not the best thing, but I'm happy we found it, and that took like 5 minutes, I think. So, I can't really pull this hose out because it's connected to this back pipe back here. So, right there. This one. So, I'm gonna have to take that off, pull that out, which is actually gonna suck. So, we just got this hose out. It was definitely that because the O-rings were in pieces. I guess it wasn't too bad. The hardest part was we had to unbolt this back plate back here. That was kind of a pain. But we're just gonna find the O-rings that fit on this, maybe put a little RTV on it just so we don't have to do this again. We got this fancy kit right here from Harbor Freight. I think it's only like 10 bucks. But we're gonna see if we can get the right one to fit on there. All right, so we went through the kit and got the correct ring. So we threw the ring on there and we slapped a little bit of RTV, just a touch. Now we're gonna try and shove this hose back in, and then we gotta throw the bolts back in that bracket. All right, guys. Last night I forgot to finish recording, but we did get everything back together. So we're gonna try and give this another go. I got off the phone with Haul Tech, and they have this thing where I could be on my computer and they could be on their computer, and they could get into my computer and show me around and show me how to do certain stuff, and they were helping me getting my car to idle. So we did that, and the car idles, but we have a few problems. First being the manifold has a big leak. So somewhere up top there's a big leak, which we already think we know where it's at. That's one. Two, my AFR is reading incorrect. My AFR gauge is reading about 4 or 5 higher. So it was reading 22 and on the computer was reading 17. Both of those are ridiculously high, or I guess high where they shouldn't be. So that was number 2. And what do we got? Number 3, we need to do ignition timing. We haven't done that yet. So the way to do the ignition timing is I got to pull the coil pack and the spark plug. So that's what I'm going to try and do right now so we can get this ignition timing down with the timing light. I'm going to just start that process. I'm going to have to pull the spark plug, take the belt off, and then I'm going to have to rotate the crank until piston 1 hits top dead center, or the top, and then I'll know that's top dead center. We'll make a mark on the balancer because unfortunately this Innovator West balancer doesn't have a freaking top dead center mark, which kind of sucks because this is gonna make the job 10 times harder, but it's fine. I'll stop procrastinating and just do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. Alrighty guys, so as you saw, we started the car. It was great. It was super pumped. It was idling and things were going good. But then we noticed we had a small leak on the underside of the car, and we thought it was the oil pan gasket, since we just threw a gasket under there and we didn't do RTV at all. We just did gasket. Dropped the whole K-member. We did this off video because we were just trying to move fast. So we dropped the whole K-member, took the oil pan off, put RTV on top of the gasket, slapped it back on there, torqued it down, did the whole sequence and everything, and now I just dumped some more oil in there and it's still leaking. So next guess is it is unfortunately the rear main seal, which really sucks because we got to drop the whole trans, and just another headache. And we're counting down the days to dyno day. It's the 9th and today is the 28th. So we got about 10 days. So we got to figure out this problem, get the car started again, and hopefully we can move forward from there. So today's project is going to be dropping the trans and trying to see if the rear main seal is actually leaking. And it's really going to be annoying if we do all this to find out it wasn't that and it's the oil pan. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull the drive shaft. I'm just dropping the drive shaft down from the rear end, and then I'm going to drop the trans from there because I don't want to have to drain the fluid since we just put fresh fluid in there. So we're going to go ahead and start this process, and we'll see you at the end of it. We did drop the trans, and we found out it wasn't the rear main seal. So that kind of sucked. We did that not for no reason, but now we know. So trans is back on, and we're looking to get this bad boy on the road. I just got my wideband sensor from Haltech. So we just installed that, and we're gonna try and take her down the road today. Just topped her off with oil. We're gonna try and back her out and
if you have any question on how to install that thing to the computer, just hit him up on Instagram or whatever, because we had a little problem with it.
Had a hiccup. Took us a little bit, but it's in there. It's just dangling. We haven't mounted it yet, but it goes right in there and then plugs in right in there. And we're live. So we'll go ahead, back it up, and see what happens. All right, here we go. We got it started, so we're looking at the tuning. Everything looks where it should be. Everything's looking good. Temps are looking good. So we're gonna go ahead and try and pull her out and start, or drive her down the block. So we're gonna go ahead and try and back her up. It's actually weird because it won't kick into reverse for some reason. We're thinking it's the reverse lockout, so something else we got to look into. But we're gonna push her out and then see if we can go for a ride.
Here we go. Check any leaks or any issues, but
just making sure everything's perfect right now. So when it gets to the dyno, they're not wasting their time messing with something that we could have messed with, because that means we're paying for it. So I'm not trying to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm monitoring while he's doing this.
We've been torquing. I hope they fix that. This would be, as of right now, this would be like close to impossible to drive every day. The brakes are a little spongy.
Pump is loud.
Yeah, I know, it's fucking retarded.
Made it.
All right, we got back from our first drive. Now we're gonna go ahead and make sure there's no check engine lights or anything crazy like that. Go ahead and check for more leaks. But pretty successful first ride, so I'm pretty pumped. We got the rest of this week, so we got 7 days, 8 days to square away everything else, and then we got to throw this bad boy on the trailer, which will be a project on its own. Just because it's so like notchy. I don't know. But all right, thanks for watching. We'll freaking see you in the next video. Peace.